Saturday, October 1st, brings together two teams undefeated this season and victorious in bowl games last year. The Tigers of Missouri tangle with the Bruins of UCLA and Gary Beban, their great quarterback. College football today is brought to you by Noxzema Medicated Shave Cream. The closer you shave, the more you need Noxzema. By United Airlines. Fly the friendly skies of United. And by United Delco for service dealers everywhere who feature the vacuum-sealed Delco Energizer. This is the Los Angeles Coliseum, one of the world's most famous sports arenas. It was built in 1923. It hosted the 1932 Olympic Games and since then has been the scene of all kinds of outstanding sports events. The Russian-American track meet, the Olympic trials, and of course, football. And today it's the scene of one of the nation's top intersectional collegiate football games, UCLA, champions of the Rose Bowl against Missouri, champions of the Sugar Bowl. Hi, I'm Bill Fleming, and this is Bud Wilkinson welcoming you to sunny California. And Bud, it's about 80 degrees here today, a beautiful day for football, just a little bit cooler than the last time you were here.
Well, last time I was here, Bill, our Oklahoma team played Southern California, and it was 112 degrees here on the floor of the Coliseum. But since we won the game, it was one of the most enjoyable, warm afternoons that I've ever spent.
Sure of that. Well, you know, this is the fourth week of collegiate football here on ABC, and Bud, I remember on our first pregame show this year, you said this was the year of the quarterbacks, and boy, it's really turned to be true.
Well, I believe that because college football is now two-platoon, the quarterbacks don't have to play defense. It gives them a great deal more time to practice throwing the ball, and as a result, everybody is throwing it better, and we've seen some great ones.
Yeah, starting, of course, right with the very first ball game when we went to Baylor and saw the great Terry Southall in action. Just to refresh your memory, we'll take a look at Southall as he passed for a touchdown to DeFee, and it was all the way for a Baylor score.
One of those plays that was well covered, but the perfect throw made the completion possible.
Now we're taking a look at Troy Winslow of the University of Southern California, and the Trojans, of course, will be anxious to face UCLA in that final game. Coming up here in the Coliseum on the 19th, which, of course, you'll be seeing. And you'll be seeing Troy Winslow in action again.
Last week we had Bob Greasy of Purdue. Here he is dropping back against Notre Dame, rushed, moving up, and then throwing a perfect ball over the linebacker, complete.
There was also another young fellow in the game last week, number 5, Terry Hanratty, a sophomore quarterback from Notre Dame. Who will ever forget, Bud, this picture play to Jim Seymour?
Well, Seymour also was a sophomore who had a marvelous day, and that's going to be quite a combination for the Fighting Irish.
And so that brings us around to today's game, and we're going to watch Gary Beban in action. He is also a fine runner, as demonstrated here.
Well, Beban, according to Coach Tommy Prothro, is the finest all-around athlete that he has coached. He's a great runner, as you saw in that last play, and he also throws the ball extremely well.
And, of course, in addition to Gary Beban, whom you're seeing right now live from the field, UCLA has some other outstanding people.
I believe that offensively they have more explosive potential than almost any other team in college football.
So we'll be back to take a look at this balanced UCLA attack in just a moment.
If you have to drive in places where you don't want to walk, put a Delco Energizer in your car. It's vacuum sealed at the factory to keep freshness in, moisture out. When your Delco serviceman breaks the seals and adds fluid, the Energizer surges to life, ready to deliver the fresh starting power you pay for. The Energizer has this Delco eye. It glows automatically to signal your serviceman when water is needed. There are 3 Delco Energizers, one with the power and the price that's just right for your car. Get a Delco Energizer at this sign.
Well, of course, every successful football team has kind of a bread and butter play that they like to work, Bud. I'm sure you've seen it down through the years.
Well, you have to establish one play to get the defense worried about it to set up the other things.
Well, let's take a look now at what, let's say, UCLA likes to do the best. In other words, the one thing that they feel that the defense must stop. So, Bud, let's analyze that bread and butter play.
The single most devastating play in the UCLA attack is the quarterback sweep with Beban carrying the ball. It puts tremendous pressure on the defensive secondary because as he rolls out, he may stop and then throw the ball back to the opposite side of the field. If the secondary is rotated, one of the receivers is going to be open. Let's take a look at those two plays and how they put the pressure on the defense. The UCLA offensive formation putting pressure on the three deep men in the secondary. As Beban starts out, the end Busby is always down the field, and Farr, the halfback, is swinging to the opposite side. Beban is such an effective runner that if it is the sweep play, you need the help of the halfback, the safety man, and the opposite halfback sometimes to stop him on the sweep. But you're never sure when he starts out that it is going to be the sweep play called, because the throwback pass or against the grain pass looks exactly the same. As Beban starts out, if the safety man and halfback are coming up to cover and the offensive halfback rotating, he may stop at this point, and if they've rotated, you have 1-2 receivers who are open against any one man that might be here. The pass may be to the end Busby. If he's covered, Farr will be open in the flat. There's another wrinkle, of course, to the UCLA attack that puts additional pressure on the defense. Usually they're lined up in the wingback set and the I formation, and they will snap the ball from this position. But on occasions, when the quarterback says hike, it'll simply be a shift to a slot formation and to an ordinary halfback set. And UCLA has great athletes. Busby, 84, the split end, has tremendous speed, and Farr, the halfback, number 22, is one of those men who can take a bad play and turn it into a good play. Here he is on a sweep, and as you can see, as he gets to the far sidelines, he's as hemmed in as a back can possibly be. But with great vision and tremendous speed, he reverses all the way across the field, picks up his blockers, and converts what ought to be a 2-yard gain into a 40-yard gain.
Well, as you can see, the UCLA offense is devastating, but they also have some trickery on their defense, too. I think the students of football are going to get a kick out of this today, Bud, because UCLA gives you a look at the defense, and then just before the ball is snapped, they change it around. Let's take a look at it, Bud.
Good. Before the ball is snapped, UCLA is usually lined up in a 6-2 defense. Count the defensive linemen starting from the upper left-hand corner of your screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. But now watch the man at the bottom of the screen. As the ball is snapped, instead of charging, he drops off. So the defense actually becomes a 5-3. They have many stunts from this alignment. It puts great pressure on the offensive team and forces them to make offensive errors such as this pass interception.
Well, the one thing about Missouri teams is that they don't make too many mistakes. And so now that we've seen UCLA in action, we'll be back to talk about Missouri in just a moment after this message.
Took me 27 years to get Norman to Hawaii. United Jet did it in just a few hours with this little credit card we got from them. We don't have to pay till we get back. Problem is, now Norman doesn't want to leave.
What do I need with a United credit card? Well, my boss said I can charge my whole vacation with it. Airfare, hotel, rent a car, anything I arrange beforehand with my travel agent. And my boss ought to know. He's a travel agent.
Yeah, I have to go to San Francisco.
I'd love to go to San Francisco.
Yeah, well, honey, the banks are closed today, and I just don't have the cash on hand.
We can charge my ticket with our United credit card.
Millie, start packing.
You're all hard, John.
Get your free credit card from United or your travel agent and charge off in the friendly skies of United.
By the friendly skies of United.
A little bit earlier, we talked about some of the more well-known quarterbacks in the country today. Southall, of course, Troy Winslow. But Gary Combrink of Missouri, Bud, isn't really that well-known, although he's quite a quarterback.
Well, he's a junior. He played behind the great Gary Lane last year, and as a result didn't see too much action. But all he's done is to defeat 2 Big Ten teams at quarterback. He's a typical Missouri quarterback. He runs the option play to perfection, as you can see here, faking to the fullback, keeping the ball outside of the end, turning upfield. All Missouri quarterbacks have been able to execute that play extremely well, and Combrink does it as well as any of them. He also is a great faker, and he's hit 16 of 27 passes thus far this season. His number 1 receiver being Denny, the halfback.
Well, of course, one thing about Dan Devine coached teams is that they seem to have a lot of mental discipline, a lot of poise. But the one thing that really has impressed us about them is the way they come out and give you a look at something, and then they come right back with something that looks the same but isn't.
Well, the hallmark of any offense, the thing that makes an offense go, is to have the ball snapped and have the play start looking like it's going to be a particular play, and if the defense stops it, to give them exactly the same look on the next play, but then have the ball attack a different part of the defense. Missouri does this particularly well, and against Minnesota, they ran a quick pitch-out play that really is a perfect example of a series. Let's take a look at this in film of the Minnesota game.
All right. Now, on this particular one, you're going to see a man, the play actually gets smeared.
Yes, the pitch-out is to the halfback, and the Minnesota halfback thought that it was going to be that quick pitch-out and run, so he came up very quickly. Missouri came right back with exactly the same pattern. The Minnesota halfback came up, and as he came up, with perfect series execution, they hit the pass for a touchdown into the end zone.
Well, of course, Missouri is very strong on defense, too, Bud. I think that's been one of the things that has led to their great success.
Well, Missouri's a team that just doesn't make any mistakes. Tommy Prothro said it's not what they do that worries as much as what they don't do. They do put pressure on all of the time, and believe me, they will try to be rushing UCLA's passer today, as they did in this particular picture.
And they've got the man to do it. Look at this big fella come in here.
Washington weighs 281. He'll be the biggest man on the field today. And the mark of a great defensive team is the ability to convert a break such as this pass interception into a touchdown. And you can tell how hard your men are trying by how fast they get over in front of the ball. And as you can see from this stop action, almost the whole Missouri team got over there in front of the ball carrier as he crossed the goal line, even though it was just a flat pass.
So that's what we mean about discipline and organization in coaching, to be able to impart those things so that they become almost instinctive.
Every great team has to have it, Bill.
That's right. Well, in just a moment, we'll be back to talk about the keys to victory for today's game.
Men, nothing takes it off like Noxema medicated shave. Take it off. Take it all off. Nothing takes it off like Noxema medicated shave.
The closer you shave, the more you need Noxema. Medicated comfort shave.
Well, each week on College Football Today, we ask our football expert, Bud Wilkinson, what the keys to victory are going to be. So, Bud, briefly, what are they today?
Well, UCLA has perhaps the most explosive attack in college football. So, from the standpoint of Missouri, they must be able to stop the breakaway touchdown, and then when they get possession of the ball, keep possession of it. Let that clock run. If Missouri can keep the ball 2/3 of the time, then I believe that this will be a great football game. But if UCLA has it half the time, it might go the other way. So I think the thing to do is watch the elapsed time that both teams have possession.
Well, I know, Bud, you're going to have your stopwatch on it and bring the fans up to date on the entire picture this afternoon.
Well, we'll try to do it as the game progresses, Bill.
So it should be an exciting afternoon here in the Los Angeles Coliseum. College Football Today was produced by Justin Morgan, directed by Lou Volpicelli and Andy Sedaris. Stay tuned for NCAA college football. Today's game features the Tigers of the University of Missouri versus the Bruins of UCLA.
Watch The Iron Horse starring Dale Robertson Monday night at 7:30 on ABC.
Right, Chris is right.
presents America's great traditional autumn spectacle, NCAA college football. Today's game features the Tigers of the University of Missouri versus the Bruins of UCLA. Brought to you by INA, Insurance Company of North America, where imagination makes insurance more helpful to you. By Goodyear. This year, as in every year, for 51 consecutive years, more people ride on Goodyear tires than on any other kind. By Winston, America's largest selling filter cigarette. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should. And by Sunoco. People in the know, people on the go are moving to Sunoco. When you stop at Sunoco, you go with confidence.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Schenkel speaking from the West Coast. As you look at some of the landmarks of the sprawling city of Los Angeles, California, moving inside now to the vast Los Angeles Coliseum with a seating capacity of 92,000. Today, the intersectional battle between the Missouri Tigers, coached by Dan Devine, and the UCLA Bruins, coached by last year's Coach of the Year, Tommy Prothro. They have identical records. Each team has won 2 games. Each team victorious in postseason bowl competition last year. UCLA defeating Michigan State. Missouri winning over Florida in the Sugar Bowl. This is the 3rd meeting between these 2 schools, and a happy shirt-sleeved crowd is here because the temperature is 84 degrees, a summer-like day in Los Angeles. This is the 128-man precision band. It is the band of UCLA, directed by Clarence Sawhill and Kelly James, with its drum major, Bill Knupp. Let's look and listen. The UCLA band saluting the 1966 Sugar Bowl champion Tigers from Missouri and featuring former Missouri twirler Warren Bass. And now the alma mater of UCLA, Hail to the Hills of Westwood. A moving tune, the alma mater of UCLA, Hail to the Hills of Westwood. Now, before the start of the game, our national anthem. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the respective records of the two teams, intersectional foes, UCLA. And as you see, they have amassed the points with their explosive, dazzling, exciting offense, averaging 44 points a game, and have allowed their opponents very little on the ground and in the air, and allowed very few to get into the end zone. The Missouri Tigers, too, averaging about 22 points a game, as you see, shut out Minnesota in the first of the year and bounced back with a convincing 21-14 victory over tough Illinois. And here they are today, meeting UCLA for the third time. UCLA has one victory that was back in 1937, and these two teams battled to a 14-14 tie 1 year ago in Columbia, Missouri. I'm Chris Schenkel, and pleased to be working again with our football expert and analyst, Bud Wilkinson. Bud, it looks like an explosive, exciting afternoon.
Well, a team that can move the ball as well as UCLA needs to be kept from getting possession of the ball. It's a great deal like a good hitter in baseball. Someone like Willie Mays, if he goes to bat 8 or 10 times without a hit, it's a cinch that he's going to get a hit the next time. The odds increase. Same thing when UCLA has the football. If they get it enough times, they're going to score some points. Tommy Prothro believes they can score 3 times on anyone. So the key to the game, of course, is can Missouri keep possession of the ball? That's the best defense. Have the ball yourself.
And then, should someone make a mistake, they're opportunistic.
Their kicking game has been excellent. They should be able to get field position with their kicking game if they can control the UCLA attack.
So we have a pair of Garys, Gary Combrink of Missouri and Gary Beban of UCLA. And I know that you fans, and hopefully that you're watching this game live and in color, as it's a colorful day in Los Angeles, California. Down on the sideline is our colleague, Bill Fleming. And let's hear what Bill has to say before this game gets underway. Bill?
Thank you very much, Chris. As you can hear in the background, the Bruins of UCLA are coming out onto the field, and the Tigers of Missouri are poised in the tunnel, getting ready to come out. A young man that everybody's going to be watching as far as the Tigers are concerned is Charlie Brown. A year ago, he had major surgery on a knee, and then he came back to lead the Big Eight as their leading rusher. Now, he did injure the knee against Illinois last week, but he will play today. And so he could be a big key here in Missouri's success against the Bruins of UCLA. We'll just have to wait and watch. We'll be back with more of the pregame color and pageantry of college football from the Coliseum in Los Angeles, California.
Win $100. Win $25. Win $1,000. Win, win, win. Where? At Sunoco. Yes, at Sunoco, where you see this sign. Come on in and play Sunny Dollars and win up to $1,000 in cash. Every time you drive in, we'll give you a free Sunny Dollars envelope. The inside is half of a bill. Match up 2 halves in the same dollar amount, and you're a Sunny Dollars winner. You win from $1 to $1,000 in cash. And listen, some envelopes show both halves in one. That makes you an instant winner. Any licensed driver can play Sunny Dollars, the Sunoco game that gives you a chance to win every time you drive in.
Wow!
Just give the money away, George. Start gathering in those Sunny Dollars today at Sunoco. Win $1, $25, $100, $1,000. Win, win, win. Where? At Sunoco.
You are looking at the UCLA campus, located on 411 acres in Westwood, nestled between the Santa Monica Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Approximately 27,500 students receive instruction in 71 departments, schools, and colleges, the graduate division, and 23 bureaus, centers, and research institutes. UCLA is the fastest growing major university in the United States. Get this, since the end of World War II, a $150 million building program has been underway to meet the ever-increasing enrollment. The number of buildings has more than doubled since the end of World War II, and the construction continues so as to keep pace with the growing student population. Academically, UCLA is ranked for some time among the top universities in the quality of its graduate offerings. The physical expansion is perhaps the single most amazing fact relating to UCLA. Yes, coeducational. Pretty girls, fine young men. And football speaking, UCLA well represented here on the West Coast today, hosting the Missouri Tigers. And now for the introductions. Let's go down to the field and Bill Fleming.
And now here are the starting lineups for today's game. For Missouri, defensive tackle, number 69, Bill Powell, 6'1", 233 from Jefferson City, Missouri. Defensive halfback, number 49, Jim Whitaker, 6 feet tall, 188 from Kansas City. Defensive safety, Gary Grossnickel, 6'1", 175 from Kirksville, Missouri. Defensive end, number 81, Dan Schupan, 6 feet tall, 194 from Columbia, Missouri. Defensive guard, number 63, Don Nelson, 6 feet tall, 221 from Fairmont, Minnesota. Linebacker, number 35, Rich Burnson, 6 feet tall, 202 from Ferguson, Missouri. Halfback, number 27, Ray Thorpe, 5'8", 179 from Overland, Missouri. Halfback, 26, Jim Valentik, 6'1", 195 from Hannibal, Missouri. Center, number 54, Dick Kistner, 5'10", 210 from Kansas City. Kicking specialist, number 46, Bill Bates, 6 feet tall, 190 from Storm Lake, Iowa. Halfback, number 22, Charlie Brown, 5'8", 187 from Jefferson City, Missouri. Halfback, number 45, Earl Denny, 6'1", 208 from Golden City, Missouri. And fullback, number 33, Brian Murphy, 5'11", 190 from Peoria, Illinois. The head coach of Missouri, Dan Devine. Good luck, Dan.
Well, thank you. I think it'll be a great game.
And now let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Bruins of UCLA. Linebacker, number 55, Dallas Strider, 5'11", 201 from Arvin, California. Defensive tackle, 64, Terry Donahue, 6 feet tall, 200 from North Hollywood. Defensive guard, number 75, John Richardson, 6'2", 240 from San Diego. Defensive guard, 71, Dick Donald, 6'1", 217 from North Hollywood. Defensive end, 51, Erwin Dutcher, 6 feet tall, 192 from Fresno, California. Halfback, number 22, Mel Farr, 6'2", 198 from Beaumont, Texas. Halfback, number 45, Tim McAteer, 5'11", 184 from San Francisco. Co-captain, offensive guard, 60, Rich Deekers, 5'10", 193 from Los Angeles. Offensive tackle, number 66, Tom Ware, 5'11", 201 from Shafter, California. Halfback, number 25, Cornell Champion, 5'10", 177 from Evanston, Illinois. Number 43, offensive end, Ray Armstrong, 5'9", 158 from Livermore, California. At quarterback, number 16, Gary Beban, 6 feet tall, 180 from Redwood City, California. Halfback, number 27, Steve Durbin, 5'9", 166 from Los Angeles. The head coach, Tommy Prothro. Good luck.
Thank you. I hope we have a good game.
Sure you will. Those are the lineups. Now back to our ABC telecast booth.
The pregame festivities have been concluded, and now the crowd awaits the opening kickoff here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, California.
This is Fraser, Colorado. Annual snowfall up to 20 feet. Temperatures down to 40 below. A rough place to drive. Until last winter, when Goodyear put new safety spike tires on every wheel of every car in town, just to prove they'll lick winter driving problems anywhere.
You can feel them. You can just feel them hold.
I would prefer these over chains.
In fact, I had to get towed 3 times last winter, and I didn't have to get towed once this year.
New Goodyear Suburbanite safety spike tires have a deep snow tread that's tailor-made for metal spikes to give up to twice the traction on ice and make its own road in snow.
It's got that grip there that takes a hold and hangs on like a bulldog.
Take the worry out of your winter driving. Get new safety spike tires from Goodyear.
Right now, you see referee Frank Jones indicating that it will be Missouri in the old gold and black that will be receiving the kick coming from UCLA today in blue jerseys, white numerals, gold helmets. Co-captains 55 Dallas Grider, a senior, and number 60 Rich Deekers, while for Missouri it was Jim Whitaker and Bill Powell. The officials today, Frank Jones, the referee, C.H. Kellogg, the umpire, head linesman Bill Settle, the field judges Earl Shastrom, the back judge William Simus, and the alternate Jack Lyle Taylor. And as we look from our end zone camera here at huge Los Angeles Coliseum, a quick comment from Bud Wilkinson as you look at the offensive starting lineups for the Missouri Tigers. Bud?
Chris, Missouri elected to receive the ball in order to try to kill a lot of time on that clock, keeping UCLA from having it, as we talked about earlier.
All right, as you scan the Missouri Tiger offensive lineup, you see their backfield of Gary Combrink and Charlie Brown, along with the other 2 backs. We will have Jim Sayre, number 39, that will be kicking with the wind to his back to the Missouri Tigers. Ray Thorpe is deep, number 27. Jim Whitaker, and Roger Whaley. They have 3 men deep on the kickoff. He has the ball teed up at the 40 now. And watch this soccer kick. It is high, short. This is Ray Thorpe, a sophomore speedster that will undoubtedly see a lot of action from Coach Dan Devine today. And he brings the ball out to the 32-yard line where he's tackled by Steve Durbin of UCLA. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, as we look at the Missouri Tigers. It's going to be Gary Combrink, number 14 from Belleville, Illinois, at the quarterback position. The offensive center, Dick Kistner. Here they come, 1st and 10 at their own 32. Greg Cook is in the backfield, number 25. Combrink, number 14, carried on the play. And let's see how much yardage he picked up. Moving up to near his own 35-yard line, a gain of 3 as Don Manning was in on the tackle. So now it's a 2nd down and 7 for Missouri. Second play from scrimmage, Bud.
Missouri was in a balanced line that time, which is unusual for them. They have been unbalanced most of the season. They really come again. Straight up balanced team.
And there is number 25 carrying the ball, Greg Cook, a sophomore from Seneca, Missouri, an education major. Fine pursuit by UCLA, led by Dallas Grider, the co-captain. And the Missouri Tigers now have advanced the ball just across their own 37, a gain of 2. So it'll be a 3rd down and 5. There you see number 14, Gary Combrink. 5'10", 183, a junior. In the opening game this year, he was 8 for 8 passing against Minnesota. Jim Juris is split into the near side. Combrink. No gain. Vic Lepisto, the defensive left end, was in on the play for UCLA. If you're watching in color in the blue jerseys, if not the light jerseys, the defensive unit at which we're looking now, along with Don Manning. And with the ball still at the 37-yard line, it's a punting situation, 4th down and 5. And Missouri will give up the ball as we have no score in the game. Approximately 2 minutes have elapsed here in this intersectional battle. Ray Armstrong has gone deep. Billy Bates is going to do the punting with about a 40-yard average. He kicks it into about a 10-mile-an-hour wind, and it is nestling out of bounds on the far side, just beyond the UCLA bench. So now, we talk about a dazzling offense, a team that moves out of the shifting T formation, the high-scoring attack of Coach Tommy Prothro. But let's see what they can do against the vaunted defense of Missouri, as they'll have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 30.
The reason for the little shift, of course, is to keep the defensive linemen from moving with the first move of the offensive men.
We have Gary Beban, Mel Farr in the backfield, along with Cornell Champion and Rick Purdy, a sophomore who carried on the last play. Good for about 3 yards, moving out to the 33, where it'll be 2nd down and 7, as Carl Garber, a sophomore of the Missouri Tigers, a native of St. Louis, made the stop. In the backfield, Beban, number 16. And you see up front Harold Busby, Tom Ware, Rich Deekers. So on down the line. Harold Busby now is to the far side. He is a speedster as they shift into a slot formation. Here is Beban. First pass of the day. Cornell Champion comes out to the 45. Now at midfield, moving into Missouri territory at the Missouri 44. There he is, Cornell Champion, number 25. 1 for 1 on Beban.
That's the play that we talked about in the pregame show. Beban rolling out, the Missouri secondary rotating with him against the sweep, and the throwback finding the man wide open in the flat.
A 22-yard gain, 1st and 10 for the UCLA Bruins as they split Ray Armstrong to the far side. That was the first pass, incidentally, that was thrown to Cornell Champion this year by Gary Beban. And there was great speculation that today Cornell Champion would be used, and you saw 16, Beban hit him for a 22-yard gain. It's time out here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, where the score is UCLA nothing, Missouri nothing.
It's easy to destroy a house. But would your insurance rebuild your house at today's prices? Now there's an easy way to find out from INA, Insurance Company of North America. where imagination makes insurance more helpful to you. 2 out of 3 families don't carry enough insurance on their home to replace it at today's costs. Are you one of them? Your INA agent has a way to tell you in just a few minutes. Give him a call. He's in the yellow pages. When insurance comes from imagination, it comes to you from INA.
Back again at Los Angeles Coliseum. After about 3 minutes of play, UCLA on a 22-yard pass play, Gary Beban to Cornell Champion. They get the initial first down, and they now have the ball at the Missouri 45, first and 10. Referee Frank Jones in the white cap. That's the UCLA band on the far side of the field. UCLA now coming out of its huddle. This is the third play from scrimmage. And you see they have a wingback set outside their own right end as Beban looks to the air. Ray Armstrong. Beautiful second effort as number 55, Kistner. Number 84 caught the pass. That was Hal Busby. Isolated camera view of Busby's action.
He almost broke that one, Chris.
A 7-yard gain, so it's second down and 3. As Busby is to the near side of the field, double covered now. Mel Farr, one of the truly great backs, listed for All-America honors here in 1966, is stopped by Carl Garber. Referee Jones spots it at the 36, a gain of 2, so it's going to be third down and 1. Bud Wilkinson.
Farr is not only a great ball carrier, he's a marvelous blocker. His blocking gives Beban the time to throw the ball on those passes that we've looked at.
Here we are now, third down and 1, that shifting eye, slot formation. Mel Farr going for the first down. Did he get it? The biggest man on the field, Russ Washington, at 280 pounds, 6 feet 6, and Don Nelson, the right guard defensively, made the stop, and a measurement now is called for, and the head linesman, Bill Settle, beckons the crew to come to midfield where the ball is placed right at about the 35-yard line. And now the important measurement for UCLA that started this drive at 30, and they get the first down. UCLA now has 2 first downs in the ball game, and they are camped on the 35 of Missouri. There is no score as we have approximately 11 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Coming to the near side is Hal Busby, and opposite is Cornell Champion. Beban. A deflected pass intercepted by Jim Whitaker, who this year had 2 interceptions coming into the game. It was tipped off the hand of Hal Busby, and Missouri, the opportunists now, have come up with an interception. This is the 7th of the year. Isolated camera view as we look at Busby, number 84.
Great reaction on the part of Whitaker. The ball is well thrown. It's a marvelous recovery to pick it off. He did get some good blocking, and Missouri now takes over on the 31.
There is Jim Whitaker coming out of the ball game. Great defensive star for Coach Dan Devine. He's a senior from Kansas City as Jim Juris now of Missouri is split to the near side. Combrink, the quarterback for Missouri, carried. He got good blocking from his left guard, Gary Frieders, and Dick Kistner, the offensive center. Referee Jones moving the ball, spotting it at about the 35-yard line. As John Richardson made the stop on the play. A 4-yard gain from the 31, so it's going to be second down and 6. Coming to the near side, Jim Juris to the bottom of your screen. The wingback set outside is Earl Denny. Charlie Brown in the lineup. Carries for the first time today, number 22. Charlie Brown, who was the leading rusher in the Big 8 last year, hampered by a gimpy knee, and you see him limping back, number 22, to the huddle, as Vic Lepisto and Terry Donahue make the stop. There's Brown. Coming out of the lineup now. Juris comes to the near side with the ball at the 34.
It's going to be a 3rd down and 7. Loss of a yard. Pass overthrown by Gary Combrink to Jim Juris. Now let's go down to Bill Fleming for other scores. Bill?
Okay, Chris, we're watching a couple of games with a lot of excitement here today because Georgia Tech and Tennessee meet next week. They've both got tough opponents today. At the half, Clemson is leading Georgia Tech 6-0. And at the half, Tennessee is leading Rice 9-3. Okay, more action.
Thank you very much, Bill. Bill Bates now. The Missouri Tigers will kick, and Ray Armstrong has gone deep for UCLA. The boy that averages 40 yards a putt. This is his 16th kick of the year. And it's taking a Missouri bounce. And it is inside the UCLA 15. That was Ray Thorpe that fell on the ball. The sophomore fullback. Number 27 coming out of the lineup. So, Bud, UCLA deep in its own territory.
When you fail to catch the ball and it's kicked, it's really most unfortunate because normally, even though the ball is oddly shaped, it will roll in the direction of the kick. And that time, of course, there were 15 extra yards on the roll.
Last time UCLA had the ball, they mounted a 36-yard drive. An interception by Whitaker stopped it. Now from the 14, 1st and 10. Busby to the near side. This is Gary Beban. Gary Beban's a 6-footer, 195 pounds. Coming into the ball game, averaged about 18.5 yards per completion. And, of course, can run the ball. Last year, his total offense, get this, 2,075 yards. Roger Worley made the stop. So with the ball now out at the 20, it's about a 2nd down and 4. Steve Stanley, the fullback. Number 38 carried on the play for the Bruins of UCLA. And the ball is now across the 20 at the 21. A gain of 1. It'll be 3rd down and 3. No score in the game. We have approximately 8.5 minutes remaining in the 1st quarter. There's 16, Gary Beban, who sends Busby to the near side of the field. Dan Shupin, number 81 in the dark jersey. You see him right there at the defensive end. Not only an outstanding football player, a pre-law student.
If you've been looking at the Missouri defensive alignment, you notice that they are using a split 6, which has their guards, tackles, and ends wide. UCLA will have to make some yardage up the middle to tighten the defense.
Okay, Bud. A loss of 4 yards. It's 4th down and 7. Here comes the UCLA kick. Ray Thorpe is there at his own point, but alertly picked it up. No score in the ball game as ABC and the NCAA combine to bring you all the thrills and festivities of college football. With timeout, the score is UCLA nothing, Missouri nothing.
Gillette packs an avalanche of smooth shaving comfort in new Gillette Foamy. Nobody makes a lather like Foamy. So moist, so rich, so creamy. Nobody makes a lather like Gillette.
10 more blades to go.
5 blades to go.
3? Just 3 blades to go? Up all the old blades? Now I can use the new Gillette Super Stainless Steel blade with the miracle plastic coating on the edge. They say it's supposed to spoil you.
The spoiler.
Another big afternoon of college football. Here are scores. Army 11, Penn State nothing. Syracuse 28, Maryland 7. And in the Ivy League, 3rd quarter, the first 2 are final scores. Princeton leading the Columbia Lions. 3rd quarter, North Carolina 14, Michigan 7. Michigan State, Illinois 26-10. More 3rd quarter, 7-0 Wisconsin. Look at the Nebraska score, and here we have no score as Missouri has the ball from its own 48. Combrink throwing, deflected, intended for Jim Juris. 2 UCLA men hit it. Dallas Grider is the man that wound up with the interception. So now in the ball game, one interception by each defensive unit. It was Gary Combrink trying to hit Jim Juris. It was deflected by UCLA Bruin, and then Dallas Grider got it. And UCLA takes over, Bud.
In pass defense drills, you always work on what we call a tipping drill, where the first man bounces the ball, and the man behind him has to react very quickly to recover to the deflection of the ball. Both teams have certainly practiced it well.
Right, Bud. Champion to the far side. Busby going out very fast. Beban going. Number 22, Mel Farr, getting a perfectly thrown pass by quarterback Gary Beban. And let's look at it stop action. Watch 22.
This is the roll play where Beban fakes the sweep to the far side and then stops and throws a perfect strike to Farr. He hit him in full stride. He was well covered, but with a perfect throw, the pass is completed to the 16-yard line.
34-yard play, and here are the Bruins. Getting inside the 15 now is Gary Beban, who likes to run the ball and does it very effectively. Gets a block from Tom Ware, the offensive left tackle. Dan Schupan, the defensive end on the far side for Missouri, made the stop. So with the ball at the 14, a gain of 2, second down and 8. There is no score here at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Approximately 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. UCLA now with 2 first downs. Champion in the slot. Here's Beban practically bootlegging the ball. And it's Schupan again, number 81, that forced him out of bounds, Bud.
That time they went without the shift, and they did catch Missouri just a little bit back on their heels. That's the purpose of the shift and movement, to get the defensive line expecting you to shift, and then when you do snap the ball without the shift, you usually do beat them to the count slightly, just enough to give you the offensive advantage.
Okay, Bud, out of that choir-like huddle. UCLA, 3rd and 2, threatening on the Missouri 8. No score in the game. Stanley and Farr set backs. Going for the first down. Staying on the ground, it was Steve Stanley. There you're getting a good look at him right now. He is a 6-footer, weighs 191, and it's another first down. Gary Beban now, you see he's thrown 4, he has completed 3. It is a 1st and goal to go, just inside the Missouri 5. Busby to the far side. Slot back is Champion. That's Farr moving in the set position. Stanley, the fullback, for about a yard. That's the Missouri defensive unit on the right that you're looking at. Gary Grossnickel and Rich Burnson in on the tackle, and you see where the ball is spotted at about the 3. When play is resumed, it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 3 for UCLA, a team that's averaged 44 points in 2 games that they have played. That's Farr to the near side, and Farr carries. Trying to get in. A fumble. Mel Farr hit hard by the Missouri defense. Roger Worley is the man that came up with the ball for the Missouri Tigers, and Russ Washington, the biggest man on the field, hit Mel Farr, and the defensive unit of Missouri has stopped UCLA on the 1-foot line. A little tacky back here, Bud.
They're awfully happy to have that ball, however.
No score in the ball game with about 3.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. You see that the line in the backfield is in its own end zone. Gary Combrink. Look at the UCLA Bruins. They not only tried to get the ball, they almost got the umpire. The umpire, C.H. Kellogg. Dallas Grider in on the play, number 55. One of the 2 linebackers. So the ball has been moved out about 1.5 feet. Well, let's call it out to the 2. Where it's going to be a 2nd down now. 2nd down at about 8. Gary Combrink of Missouri directing the attack. Stays on the ground. Doesn't gamble with handling that football, and Gets it out as you see across the 5, Bud.
That quarterback sneak has the ball, of course, right on the line of scrimmage. UCLA's linemen do a great deal of stunting. By that, I mean they don't charge their opponent directly. They slant one way or the other. The quarterback on the sneak can read that slant, and if he breaks off to the opposite side, pick up 3 or 4 yards quite easily on the play.
Chuck Weber has come into the Missouri lineup, replacing Jim Juris at end. He wears number 88 on his jersey. With a 3rd down and 3 from their own 7. Cumbrink. Up to about the 9. 4th down coming up for the Tigers. Don Manning in on the play for UCLA. In its 7-year history, the AAWU, or Pacific 8, has won 28 national championships, an average of 4 per year. As we look at Gary Cumbrink of Missouri of the Big 8. UCLA has been prominent in the success of the AAWU with its contributions in winning the NCAA track and field championships, its stirring Rose Bowl victory, and so on down the line as Ray Armstrong goes back deep. Billy Bates from his own end zone, punting for the Missouri Tigers. It's high. Pepper was watching that ball, Alan Pepper, number 65, as it's timeout here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, California, where the score is UCLA nothing, Missouri nothing.
For 1967, one car continues to blaze new trails, to be unique. Toronado, the original, the Oldsmobile original that's out front for others to follow. Toronado, America's first full-sized car with front-wheel drive for extraordinary ease of handling. Inside, Toronado provides flat floors, room for 6, draft-free ventilation with full view side windows. Up front, Toronado's big rocket V8 engine. That's where the traction is, too. Oldsmobile's fully proved front-wheel drive. Extraordinary styling with new front and rear treatment. And new torsion bar springs for easier operating doors.
Your nearest Olds dealer invites you to drive Toronado. Discover why. The rocket action Olds is out front again. Come on.
Back again at the Los Angeles Coliseum as you see other college scores, which we'll be bringing you throughout the afternoon and evening. Here at the Los Angeles Coliseum, with about a minute and a half remaining in the first quarter, there's no score. After a 26-yard punt by Billy Bates, UCLA has the ball at the Missouri 35, 1st and 10. Busby to the far side. This is Cornell Champion. Weaving like a worm.
The old scissors play there, but one of the UCLA men, in an attempt to get position on the halfback, did clip, which will now make it 1st and 25 for UCLA.
Tough break for the UCLA Bruins as you see the referee, Frank Jones, bringing the ball back. It's coming back to the 45-yard line. But you also, on the previous play, the last play, got an idea of what Cornell Champion can do. The senior from Evanston, Illinois. He comes to the near side. Busby is opposite. 1st down and 20. Gary Beban, number 16, is stopped by Washington and Carl Garber. Garber, a defensive guard for the Missouri Tigers, in on the play. No score, as we pointed out, with about 50 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Each team has had the ball 4 times offensively. We have had 2 interceptions, one by each team, and we have had a fumble, that by UCLA.
One of the things you always tell your team is that you're going to have the ball perhaps 12 or 13 times during the contest. The mistakes that cause you to lose possession of the ball, of course, eliminate a scoring opportunity. For example, UCLA has had it 3 times. This is their 4th possession, and they've stopped themselves twice, once with a fumble and once with the interception. If they continue that percentage, it isn't too long before those 12 possessions run out on you.
Okay, Bud, next Saturday, ABC Sports will be traveling to Atlanta, Georgia to bring you its live color coverage of the Tennessee-Georgia Tech game. Be sure to be with us for all the excitement as Coach Bobby Dodd's Georgia Tech Engineers, led by halfback Lenny Snow, tangle with the hard-hitting Volunteers from Tennessee, coached by Doug Dickey. Another great NCAA football game brought to you live and in color next Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time exclusively on ABC. Georgia Tech, Tennessee. And having seen both teams last year and televising games on ABC television, Tennessee in the Bluebonnet Bowl, Georgia Tech in the Gator Bowl, we can only say that that's a game you won't want to miss. Lenny Snow, the halfback we talked about, going into today's game against Clemson, had 5 touchdowns. Kim King, a nifty quarterback. Dewey Warren, the quarterback for Tennessee. That's next week. Right now, an outstanding quarterback in Gary Beban with a second down and 16 at the Missouri 41. No score in the game. Closing seconds of the first quarter. Beban. Here is a reverse. Busby. Hal Busby end around, bringing it to about the 31, and number 84, let's watch it again, isolated camera.
And these are the kind of plays that do keep the defense balanced. Beban rolling out and then giving the ball to Busby, swinging wide, and we had a great defensive play to keep it from breaking for a touchdown.
A 9-yard gain, and it's 3rd down and 7 from the 32 of Missouri. Cornell champion, who was out for only 1 play, is back in the lineup now. Barnes standing to setback behind Beban, blocking now for him. And number 84, sophomore, Hal Busby, a 9'4" track man. And you've heard of him as a track man, now you'll get familiar with him as a football player. Isolated camera.
Believe me, you have to give him plenty of room because he can run right past you, and when he makes that good an inside break, he's going to be open unless a linebacker happens to be in front of it.
Thank you, Bud. Gary Grossnickel tripped him up. Busby. Busby to the far side. First down play. And Mel Farr gets to about the 11 where Tom Ware helped make a hole on the left side of the line, and that's all Farr needs as he goes scooting through. Stop action on that last play.
Beautiful block by Stanley. Farr almost broke into the open.
Okay, the gun is sounded here at the Coliseum, and at the end of the first quarter, the score is UCLA nothing, Missouri nothing. And now we return to our studios for this message.
Find folks with a knack for having fun, and you'll find Winston. When you change to Winston, you'll change for good, for the good taste of Winston's filter blend tobaccos. Yes, it's what's up front that counts. That's why more people smoke Winston than any other filter cigarette.
When I changed to Winston, I changed for good, 'cause I got good taste like I knew I would.
Winston tastes good like it should. When you change to Winston, you change for good.
'Cause Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
The fine ball carrier and blocker Mel Farr injured on the last play. He is on the far sideline. His replacement is Steve Durbin from Los Angeles, number 27. Here is UCLA, 2nd down and 1 at the 11 of Missouri. No score at the start of the second quarter. Steve Stanley, the fullback, battling for the first down. And he gets it. That is the 6th first down for the Bruins of UCLA. Making the stop for Missouri, Dan Chupan and Don Nelson, as we look at the offensive unit of UCLA. So again, they have a 1st and goal situation, this time at the Missouri 8. Beban for 1 yard, Bud.
An unusual set on the goal that time for UCLA. They were unbalanced line to the bottom of your screen, but Missouri's defensive line adjusted very well, overshifting with them.
And here comes Mel Farr. And the student body and, of course, the UCLA rooters show their approval. And it means Durbin goes to the far sideline. So with the ball at the 8, actually no gain. It's 2nd down, goal to go. Busby to the near side. That was
Steve Stanley of Exeter, California, that was stopped by Keith Scott, sophomore defensive tackle for Missouri. A gain of 3 yards. It's 3rd and goal. The ball is on the 5 of Missouri. UCLA trying to get the first score here this afternoon. A team that averaged 44 points in 2 games coming in here today. Defensive unit that allowed only 26 points, as UCLA smashed Pittsburgh 57-14, Syracuse 31-12, while the Missouri Tigers came up with 2 big wins, 24-0 over Minnesota and 21-14 Illinois. Now down to the sideline, Bill Fleming.
All right, Chris, Michigan State, the nation's top-ranked collegiate football team, won today over Illinois 26-10. Here's other scores: Army 11, Penn State nothing. These are all finals. Syracuse bouncing back after 2 losses, beating Maryland 28-7. Princeton over Columbia in the 3rd quarter. And as you saw, quite a shocker in the Big Ten. North Carolina defeating Michigan 21-7. Wisconsin leading Iowa in a conference game 7-0. And as we move on down, Kansas leading Minnesota 10-7. Here's one: Nebraska and Iowa State. That's quite a surprise. 6-6 in the 3rd quarter of that game. By the way, Al Brenner of Michigan State set a new Big Ten punt return record, 95 yards today against the Illini. More scores: Washington leading Ohio State 28-15 in the 3rd quarter, and Purdue over SMU 21-7 at halftime. That Georgia Tech Clemson score is 7-6. Lenny Snow has scored the Georgia Tech touchdown. Tennessee 23-3 over Rice, 2 touchdowns in the 2nd period, thrown by Dewey Warren. We're just about ready to return to action here. Okay, Chris.
Thanks, Bill, for bringing us up to date on those interesting scores as we look forward to next week's Tennessee-Georgia Tech game on ABC television. 3rd and goal now, champion to the far side, a flanker back. This is Beban. Gary Beban demonstrating that he has every type of a pass, but a penalty marker is on the field. Rich Spendler was the man that brought the ball in, bear hugged it. But let's wait for referee Frank Jones and see what the penalty is. He threw that pass forward illegally. An illegal forward pass, Bud.
It was marvelous execution. He didn't think that he was across the line of scrimmage, but the official was on the spot. He was just about a yard across the line of scrimmage, and of course, when you're across the line, you can no longer throw the ball forward.
So now with the loss of the down, and it's a 4th down, a kick on a right-left angle from the 14 and 10 yards deep the goalpost, 24 or 5 yards. It's up. And it's good. A 25-yarder. College football in its 98th year of excitement and color. The timeout, the score is UCLA 3, Missouri nothing.
They're moving, people in the know. They're moving to Sunoco, people on the go. They're moving to Sunoco,
I come to Sunoco for this Custom Blend 260. The highest octane, highest quality gasoline sold anywhere.
You're really in the know when you know about Sunoco Custom Blend 260. More powerful than any other gasoline you can buy anywhere.
People in the know. They're moving to Sunoco,
When you stop at Sunoco, you go with confidence.
You are looking at Charlie Brown, who came into the ball game with an injured knee off last week's game against Illinois. Kurt Zimmerman, who just kicked a 25-yard field goal for UCLA after a minute and a half of play in the 2nd quarter, will do the kicking into the wind. Kurt Zimmerman. Charlie Brown is deep. UCLA leads 3-0. Charlie moving up on it now at the 14. Whoops. Look out, Charlie. Charlie Brown is down at about the 17-yard line. Vic Lepisto
was the first to hit Brown on the play as we pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. We're back here again, and as you see, the ball is being carried in the wrong direction as far as UCLA is concerned. It is coming back offside against the kicking team, UCLA, which means that's a 5-yard penalty, and they'll have to re-kick. So it'll come from the 35. Charlie Brown is being summoned, you see there on your screen at the 20, to the near sideline. Being replaced, probably still not up to par because of that knee. Roger Worley is the deepest man in the 3-man setup. Ray Thorpe also back there. And we look at number 18. This is Dow, and of course Gary Beban is number 16, just keeping loose on the far sideline. While the kicking team now, with about 13 and a half minutes remaining in the first half, will kick to the Missouri Tigers. Zimmerman ready. 3-0, UCLA leading on a 25-yard field goal by this man that's kicking now. At the 20-yard line, it's Worley coming out to the 25, the 30, the 35, the 40, the 45. A nifty run back. Eddie Hutt, a senior from Fresno, California, made this stop. Roger Worley on a fine return, isolated camera view of the return. Here it is.
He makes a very fine catch. The return is up the middle. He picks up great blocking as he breaks to the outside. For a moment, he had a clear shot, but the last man was able to pull him down.
So Missouri has good field position at their own 47-yard line with a 1st and 10. Combrink is the quarterback. That pitches for Charlie Brown, number 22, and he comes into UCLA territory, not quite, just shy of midfield, as Dallas Grider made the stop on 22, Brown.
From the standpoint of ball possession, it's just exactly opposite what Missouri had hoped for. In the first quarter, UCLA had the ball for approximately 9 minutes. Missouri had possession for only 6, and UCLA ran 21 plays against 10 for Missouri.
Okay, Bud, college football, a pleasant and colorful way to spend an autumn afternoon. With timeout, the score is UCLA 3, Missouri nothing.
This is what winter driving used to be like for Sandy Ennis of Fraser, Colorado.
The roads were, well, you know, in the winter they get real icy. And there had been, I think, 5 accidents before me, and they were getting ready to close the road where no more cars could go through. But they let me through, which was a mistake. You want me to tell you what happened? Well, I hit one police car and I bounced off of another one.
That was before Goodyear came to Fraser and put new safety spike tires on every wheel of every car in town, just to prove they'll lick winter driving problems anywhere. New Goodyear Suburbanite safety spike tires have a deep snow tread that's tailor-made for metal spikes to give up to twice the traction on ice and make its own road in snow.
I can just tell that I drive better on ice and snow now than I did. I haven't hit anything this winter.
Take the worry out of your winter driving. Get new safety spike tires from Goodyear.
With 12 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first half here at the Los Angeles Coliseum, as the result of a 25-yard field goal by UCLA, they lead Missouri. Missouri, its deepest penetration now with a 2nd and 3rd at the 49. Some good faking, as you saw in the center. Earl Denny, the right halfback, number 45, carried on the play, and he gained a yard, so it'll be 3rd and 2, Bud.
The distance of a penalty is often misleading as to its devastating effect. UCLA, of course, was only penalized 5 yards for being offside on the kickoff, but they had stopped Missouri back on the 17, and the return brought the ball out to the 45, so that penalty cost him just about 30 yards.
Marty Berg is the split into the far side, 3rd and 2. From midfield, the Tigers from Missouri try to get the first down. Number 27, Ray Thorpe, carried on the play. And it's going to be a 4th down coming up from the UCLA 48-yard line.
So now, UCLA anticipating a punt from Billy Bates. Bates at about his own 40 as Ray Armstrong is deep. End over end. Those are the Tigers surrounding the football. Billy Bates' punt. Falling dead at about the UCLA 12-yard line. A very effective punt. Here's a reminder. Next week on ABC's Wide World of Sports, you'll be seeing an exciting event from Europe. That's right, international figure skating, featuring Canadians Otto and Maria Jelinek, former world champions from Czechoslovakia, the Romans, as well as Kilius and Baumler of Germany. Also, the All-Ireland Football Championship, featuring Meath against Galway. That's at 2:30 p.m., ABC's Wide World of Sports, 1:30 Central Time. Beban, number 16, carrying on the play. Started from about his own 12 as Don Nelson, and Roger Worley made the stop. Steve Stanley, who has shown us some blocking skill as a fullback for UCLA, threw a block that allowed Beban to get up to the 15 for a gain of 3, so it's 2nd down and 7. For UCLA, they lead 3-0. That was Stanley, and Don Nelson was number 63, 225-pounder that made the stop after a gain of 1 yard. So it'll be 3rd and 6. Approximately 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Tommy Prothro looking on. He was last year's Coach of the Year. His team with the ball. Beban. On the option, had to carry as Russ Washington put on the pressure.
The Missourians are doing an excellent job of containing Beban. As he starts the sweep, they simply will not let him get outside. When he does turn up inside, the Missouri linebackers and pursuing guards and tackles have been there to put the pressure on him.
Okay, Bud. There you see the size of the defensive unit as we now have a 4th down and 6 punting contest. Roger Worley has gone deep for Missouri. Larry Cox punting the ball. Here's Worley at the 40. Upended hard, as you saw, by Steve Durbin of UCLA. And now with the ball at the 43, Missouri will have a 1st and 10 as we have a timeout here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, California. The score, UCLA 3, Missouri nothing.
Watch this acid test dramatize how magnetic film in Prestone antifreeze gives extra protection against corrosion in your car's cooling system. We dip 1/2 of a metal strip in Prestone antifreeze, coating it with magnetic film. The other half in antifreeze with only regular inhibitors. We plunge both into the hot acid. Watch. Metal with ordinary antifreeze is destroyed in 6 seconds. But look at the metal protected by magnetic film. Get this extra protection with Prestone antifreeze coolant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ordinary...
Second play from scrimmage. 2nd and 10 from the 43. Number 45, Earl Denny. And look at that second effort. Did he lose the ball? Andy Herrera in on the play, and we're getting a look at number 45, Earl Denny, a senior from Golden City, Missouri, an education major, 6'1", 208 pounds, a sprinter, and that's so right.
That was Missouri's first down of the day, and they did it, of course, with misdirection. UCLA has been pursuing so well that they did over-pursue that time on the against-the-grain pass. Was hit complete.
24 yards, and here are the Tigers. That was Greg Cook from Seneca, Missouri, trying to stay on his feet. Number 25. He was stopped by Sandy Green. So a 3-yard gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7 as UCLA leads 3-0.
From a quarterbacking standpoint, you've got 4 basic places to go. Inside, outside pass, and then misdirection. And Missouri has tried the inside, outside pass without much effect, but the misdirection certainly did make a fine play for them.
Weber set away from the line. Here's Combrink. That was intended for Weber. You see him getting up, number 88. Don Manning and Andy Herrera covering on the play. Chuck Weber, he and Jim Juris occasionally alternating, bringing in plays from Coach Dan Devine, and they're doing it at this very minute. Greg Cook comes out of the lineup, too. We have a third down now, and 7. Beautiful defensive play. John Manning was in on the play, along with Clayman, Al Clayman, number 62. Stop was made on the quarterback, Combrink. A loss back to the 27-yard line, a loss of 7 will be 4th down and 14.
If this field goal is 7 yards short, he'll certainly wish that he hadn't tried that bootleg.
From the 34-yard line, it's a 44-yard boot by Bill Bates. It was to the near side of the goalpost, no good. A 44-yard attempt by Billy Bates of Missouri. And as you look at the cheering section on the far side of the field, we have 7 minutes remaining in the first half, and UCLA leads Missouri 3-0. Next Saturday afternoon, Berlin and Dublin will provide the setting for ABC's Wide World of Sports. At the Sports Palace in West Berlin, you'll see many of the world's top figure skaters, including the great Czechoslovakian world dance champions, the Romans, along with 2 outstanding pairs, Kilius and Baumler of Germany, and world champions Otto and Maria Jelinek of Canada. And we'll also be returning to Croke Park in Dublin for the All-Ireland Football Championship of the year. Combining elements of soccer, rugby, and American football, this Irish Classic will match Meath against Galway. That's international figure skating from Berlin and the All-Ireland Football Championship from Dublin at 2:30 p.m., 1:30 p.m. Central Time next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, to be followed by the Georgia Tech-Tennessee game as Gary Beban talks things over. Up front, we have Ray Armstrong, Tom Ware, Rich Deekers, John Urquea, Dennis Murphy, Larry Slagle, and Rich Spindler. And now it's a 1st and 10 following a missed field goal from the 20. Beban, long, Busby. That was Busby. Whirler chasing him, a 9-4 sprinter. Watch it, isolated camera.
Worley looks just about like he's a 9-4 man, too. He goes with him all the way and then does not take his eye off the ball so that he was in position to make the play.
Hats off to Worley. And Busby, a fellow that is one of America's great young sprinters, bests of 9-4 and 26, a member of the U.S. international team. Another speedster, Bell Farr, number 22, carrying on the play, a 2nd down play from their own 20. And Rich Burnson makes the stop on number 22, Mel Farr.
The off-tackle play has broken clean the last 2 times that it's been called because the Missouri ends are so conscious of Beban on that sweep. They're coming across a little bit deep to turn him in, and of course when they do, they're vulnerable to the inside play.
Busby to the far side, now into a set behind Beban, 3rd and 3. Mel Farr, he was trying for a 1st down, did not get enough yardage on the play as Dan Chupin and Don Nelson, 2 familiar names, and there you see the marker indicating that it's going to be 4th down, a punting situation once again for UCLA.
Last year, Missouri's scores against UCLA were on kick returns. They returned 1 punt for a touchdown and 1 kickoff for a touchdown to get the 14-14 tie. They'll be trying the same thing here.
And speedster Roger Worley, a sophomore, is deep. From our end zone camera, Larry Cox will punt. 4th down and run. 5.5 minutes left in the first half. It is a beautiful punt into the wind. Worley at his own 24. Coming out to the 29, falls forward to the 30.
Marvelous kicking, Chris.
John Urquea
the man that snapped the ball to Larry Cox, made the stop for UCLA. So, Missouri has the ball. First and 10 as we look at the UCLA cheerleaders. Combrink, Cook, Thorpe, and Valatic are in the backfield. Berg, Weber are the offensive ends. Berg going to the far side. Gary Combrink at quarterback. From his own 30. Took a little while to find out who it was, and as you see with us, number 27, senior Ray Thorpe, stopped by John Richardson, potential All-America of UCLA. No gain on the play. It's second down and 10 from the 30 of Missouri as UCLA leads 3-0. Valatic is in the lineup. Combrink. Talk about a sure-handed tackle at the 19-yard line. Terry Donahue. Combrink couldn't get out of his grasp and is thrown for an 11-yard loss back to the 19. It'll be 3rd and 21. Juris comes in. Weber comes to the near sideline. Juris goes to the far side as a split end. Flanker back is Valatic. In fact, Combrink, the quarterback, was directing Earl Denny's pass pattern. Tell him to go just a little deeper, and Earl Denny wasn't quite sure about what spot he should get to, and the pass was overthrown. And on the play, Don Manning did hit the arm of Combrink. So we have Bill Bates in a punting situation, 4th down and 21. Armstrong is deep. And Bates again shows his punting skill at the 28-yard line. Armstrong at the 25. And Tigers moving in on him. Jim Valatic and Roger Short were there first. You see number 26, Jim Valatic. And boy, that was a solid tackle at about the 28-yard line, Bud.
We talked a great deal about the UCLA attack, but thus far in this game, their defense has been magnificent. Missouri has had just one good play, that single against the grain pass.
3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the first half. Big halftime show, the Missouri and the UCLA bands. The Big 8 Conference boasts 2 of the top 3 major college coaches in career won and lost records, including Missouri's Dan Devine, who was 3rd with his 76% winning percentage on an 86-24-7 record. Nebraska's Bob Devaney, whose team will be seen both regionally, October 29th against Missouri, and nationally, Thanksgiving Day against Oklahoma on ABC, leads the coaches with an 80% average on 75 wins, 16 losses, and 5 ties. A lineman injured on Missouri was Gary Frieders, a junior from Bay City, Michigan. See, he's getting assistance to the near sideline. As UCLA has a 3-0 lead on a 25-yard field goal at the beginning of the second quarter. As we go down to Bill Fleming.
Game today in Clemson, Georgia Tech. A final just in on it. Georgia Tech scored in the last 9 minutes of the ball game, came from behind with Lenny Snow scoring a touchdown to beat Clemson today 13-12. So it looks like both Georgia Tech and Tennessee are going to win today because Tennessee is ahead of Rice 23-3 in the fourth quarter, but Georgia Tech won a real nail-biter today from Clemson. Okay, Chris.
All right, Bill. We'll all be in Atlanta, Georgia for the game next week, Georgia Tech and Tennessee. UCLA, blue, gold, and white. From their own 28, 1st and 10, they lead 3-0. Busby to the far side. Beban. Far, back to Beban. Razzle-dazzle. And that was Busby. All right. right, videotape, isolated camera view of Beban, Busby.
Great action in the backfield here. Beban getting the ball in lateral and then throwing the strike to Busby, who made a marvelous catch. For a track man, this boy has got great ability to change direction and keep his feet.
A 47-yard play, and UCLA is at the Missouri 26. First and 10. Mel Farr involved in that Alphonse and Gaston little act that was successful for that good yardage. Carried on the play. At about, let's call it the 25. Bill Powell, defensively, in for Missouri. Second down and about 9. This drive started at the 28. Beban. Bud?
Once again, those Missouri ends simply will not let Beban get outside.
As you see, UCLA will next work the ball from its own 26, and defensive signals being called by number 35, Burnson, from the Missouri Tigers, and she represents UCLA. Beban now is 5 for 7 in the air. Gary Beban, only a junior from Redwood City, California, a history major. At 6 feet, 180 pounds, was the man that scored both touchdowns in the Rose Bowl game to upset Michigan State 14-12. Last year, he threw 8 touchdown bombs. He's a boy that can throw the proper type pass and seemingly at the right time.
And he's averaging 18.4 yards per pass this season, Chris.
We just had a 47-yard beauty thrown by Beban to Busby. I wonder if she's more interested in the ice cream or the football game. Both. We have about 3 minutes remaining in the first half here at the Los Angeles Coliseum. 84 degrees. Few fleecy clouds overhead and a crowd of about 35,000 we'd estimate. And now it will be a third down and 11 for UCLA. Busby to the far side. Beautiful recovery by Tim McAteer. Tim McAteer of San Francisco lost his footing, got up, caught the Beban pass, and John Douglas made the stop for Missouri.
It's a great pressure on those 3 deep secondary men when Beban rolls out, then sets and throws that ball back.
And quickly at the line. And that was Busby. Busby waiting at about the 8-yard line, and Jim Whitaker hit him hard. And here is UCLA, reminding me of some of the Bud Wilkinson coached teams that quickly went to the line and started the action. Intended for Busby, Beban to Busby. We have approximately 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first half, with UCLA in the lead 3-0 on a 25-yard field goal.
They certainly showed great poise on both plays where they went without the huddle. Usually 1 or 2 of the linemen failed to take their position quickly, but UCLA was in perfect poised position, got the ball off just as though they had broken the huddle and done it with their normal starting cadence.
Okay, Bud Wilkinson, it's third down now and 5 from the 7 of Missouri, and the Tigers have faced UCLA in this situation before. Let's see what they can do now as Champion is flanked to the near side. Cornell Champion. Busby is opposite. Beban. Intended for Busby. And broken up beautifully by Grossnickel. Gary Grossnickel. Let's watch it isolated camera videotape.
This is one of these plays where it's almost a touchdown. A beautiful move by Grossnickel. Had he been able to hang on to the ball, he might have had clear sailing.
All right, Bud. Cornell Champion is out of the lineup. Tim McAteer in. Busby to the far side. McAteer to the near side on 4th down and 5 from the 7. Beban. And another defensive gem. Intended for Hal Busby. Gary Grossnickel.
in on the play, and what a job defensively he is doing for Coach Dan Devine. You have to applaud that sterling work. You can't have a football team if you're not able to defend against the pass, and the three deep men, Whitaker, Grossnickel, and Worley, have certainly thus far done an excellent job against one of college football's fine passing teams. They have stopped UCLA again. Syracuse and Pittsburgh failed to do it. 3-0 as Missouri has the ball at about the 7-yard line. Time running out in the first half. Combrink with a Dick Kistner block, the offensive center, comes out to about the 9. Missouri certainly has not had nearly as impressive statistics this half as UCLA, but they were behind statistically in both of their first two games. Ray Thorpe carrying on the play. You saw Jim Judd coming through hoping to block. Terry Donahue in on the tackle, along with the replacement for the injured Dallas Grider, Wade Pearson. So with the ball at the 44, a gain of 2, it's 3rd down and 7. UCLA leading 17-0 on a Zimmerman field goal, a Stanley touchdown, a Farr touchdown. Combrink. Beautiful play. Marty Berg caught that ball, floated out there by Gary Combrink. And let's see. There, now they're pointing in the right direction. They were indicating a first down, but pointing the opposite way. Now they have pointed in the direction Missouri hopes to continue going. First down, Bud.
Anytime that you can really fake the run, as Combrink did there, and then throw, you do have some receiver open.
Earl Denny to the far side. Play coming from the 17. Combrink to the 15. Lepisto in on the play for UCLA and Terry Donahue. Gain of 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. This drive started at the 41 of Missouri, following a Mel Farr UCLA touchdown. Up front, it's Berg, Short, Wilsey, Dick Kistner, Alan Pepper, Mike Wimpy, and Jim Juris. It's Thorpe, Denny, Brown, Combrink in the backfield. Combrink to the 11, Don Manning in on the play. 3rd down and 4.
3rd and 6 on the 12-yard line.
3rd down.
Hold them defense.
32,649 are here at the Coliseum today. Berg for Missouri to the far side. Beautiful. Sharp coming in, one of the reserve quarterbacks, getting a pitch from Combrink, and he throws a touchdown pass to number 88, Chuck Weber. Isolated camera view.
UCLA halfbacks have been coming up on the sweep play. That time it started just like the sweep, but it turned out to be the running pass for 6 points.
So now it is 17-6, and for the first time today, the Missouri Tigers will have an opportunity to try an extra point. Here it is again. Isolated videotape. Going for the 2-point conversion, Gary Combrink. Into the corner, intended for Earl Denny. A penalty marker is down. Andy Herrera trying his very best for UCLA to stop the play. So it is interference call, half the distance to the goal line. And let's see now, as Coach Dan Devine, a product of the University of Minnesota, formerly head coach at Arizona State, and at Missouri compiling an equally fine record, sends in Ewing, Mike Ewing of Ladue, Missouri. Combrink. And it works.
Earl Denny, number 45, the intended receiver on the previous play, gets the 2 points for Missouri. It's time out here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, California. The score is UCLA 17, Missouri 8.
Jim Witherell's business day begins when the 801 leaves Greenwich for New York. You hustle in this league.
Jackie, put this in the file for me. I better take that to the meeting.
Cross town for one meeting, back to the office for another.
I know you're interested to get to this one. Hello, Jackie.
Hi.
Thank you very much.
Hey, terrific. Good
It's
news.
been a long morning.
Good news.
Thank you. We're going to make
We'll
some
have
money
to
for you
set a
this year,
formal
buddy. Now, you've been in this business long enough to know that when we got a problem like this, you move the other...
An 8-hour day feels like vacation. And here's what it's all for. 32 pounds of blue-eyed blonde, a good wife, friends. Tonight, Jim's invited them in to help set up a fund drive. The busy life of Jim Witherell. It takes a lot of coke. Does coke have the taste you never get tired of? Is Coca-Cola always refreshing? Do things go better, Coke after Coke after Coke? Don't take our word for it. Ask Jim Witherell, Box 276, Old Greenwich, Connecticut.
Awaiting Billy Bates's kick, Mike Bergdahl, Tim McAteer, and Mel Farr. And there you see number 46 of Missouri, Billy Bates, the punter and kickoff specialist. It is 17-8 as Missouri went 49 yards in 6 plays. And they came up with the football, Chris. That's right. Heads-up play by Dan Chupin. They're still battling for the football, along with the official. Let's watch it again.
On the onside kick, the ball must go 10 yards before it can be touched. As you can see here, it does. There's a wild scramble for it, and it's Missouri's ball. Beautiful execution of the onside kick.
And let's give credit to Bill Schmidt of Imperial, Missouri, a sophomore, in recovering that onside kick. Missouri has tried this many times in the past, and they worked it again here today, and they have the ball at the 47 of UCLA. Charlie Brown trying to get outside, and is thrown for a 3-yard loss by Vic Lepisto. Andy Herrera also in on the play. Let's go down to Bill Fleming.
Okay, Chris, just a quick report on Dallas Grider, the linebacker of UCLA. He twisted his knee when he intercepted that pass a short time ago, and so it has weakened the UCLA linebacking proposition a little bit. He will not return to action this afternoon.
Thank you, Bill. And he was the man that last year recovered 2 onside kicks worked by UCLA in beating Southern California for 1. Here's Jerry Combrink. Charlie Brown. Mark Gustafson, a sophomore from Corvallis, in on the play. A penalty marker down on the field. Clipping penalty, as you see the indication, that arm in motion behind the leg. So that forces Missouri back into their own territory, back around the 37. They'll have a second down coming up.
You like to watch the defensive pattern here. With long yardage, UCLA will loosen the linebackers. They will not stunt.
Second down and 26 from their own 37 following a clipping penalty. It's 17-8. UCLA leads. Nice fake to Brown. Fake in the backfield to Charlie Brown, who slipped through. Herrera in on the play. Lepisto also defensively for UCLA. Here you see number 26 coming into the lineup. Jim Valatic. And number 33, Brian Murphy, comes into the lineup. It's a third down play, and with the ball at the 42, 3rd and 21. Number 80 is Marty Berg, intended receiver, and Sandy Green was there to cover. Almost. picked it up for an interception. 4th down and 21 for the Tigers. Ray Thorpe back in the lineup at fullback.
Ready? 1, 2, block!
10.5 minutes left in the ball game as Armstrong is deep. Bill Bates will punt into the wind. Armstrong looking at it at the 19-yard line. Good kick coverage by Missouri. Ray Thorpe was there in a hurry, number 27. Jim Valatic, number 26. Excitement, color, and tradition every Saturday on NCAA college football. With timeout, the score is UCLA 17, Missouri 8.
Hi, I've got big news of a brand new car. A brand new name in Rocket Action Oldsmobiles for 1967. Delmont 88. A whole new line of popular priced 88s. The price makes it easy. So let's take the plunge. Whee! If you think the beauty's only skin deep, just step inside.
Take the wheel of this Delmont 88 with its economical, top-performing 330 or 425 cubic-inch rocket engine. Both available with Oldsmobile's new climatic combustion control. Also available, a choice of a 2- or 3-speed hydromatic drive. Try the all-new Delmont 88. Lowest priced of all the full-size Oldsmobiles.
Delmont 88. 4 fabulous models. Visit your Olds dealer. You'll discover the Rocket Action Olds is out front again.
The cheering section on the far side of the field at the Los Angeles Coliseum. With about 10 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the ball game, UCLA with the ball now, 1st and 10 at the 19, as Busby set to the near side. They lead 17-8. Steve Stanley, who scored one of the 2 UCLA touchdowns, carried on the play. Don Nelson in on the tackle for Missouri. Tommy Prothro.
UCLA again in an unbalanced line that time, about the 3rd time this afternoon, but once again Missouri overshifting with them and able to be in perfect position to stop the play.
UCLA from their own 22, 2nd and 7. Busby, the split end. In the slot is Stanley. And Beban comes to this side. Jim Whitaker on the stop. It's a 1st down. The Bruins.
Washington was able to turn the play in, but the UCLA blockers did an excellent job of cutting off the pursuing linebackers and tackles.
Thank you, Bud. 10 yards on the play. 1st down. Busby to the far side now as we look at Beban. John Urquea is the offensive center. Stanley running into a Missouri wall. Bill Powell, number 69, and Nelson, 63. He did gain yardage to the 34. 2nd down and 8. 8.5 minutes remaining in the ball game. UCLA leads Missouri 17-8. Busby, split left, in the slot. Tim McAteer. Beautiful move by Gary Beban, number 16.
Gave it a juke, went inside, and then went around the end. He gave it that same juke upfield and went around the halfback. Marvelous ball carrying.
Roger Worley was in pursuit, as UCLA has gained another 1st down. They now have a total of 16. Missouri, thus far, has gained 4. From the 45 of UCLA. Last year, Mel Farr had 6 touchdowns of 21 yards or more on that type of running. He goes to the 40, a 15-yard gain, the 17th 1st down.
So far this year, Chris, he's averaging 7 yards a try.
Busby to the near side. The ball at the Missouri 40. Champion in the slot. Cornell champion. Steve Stanley. Maybe a yard. Bill Powell, number 69, and Dan Chupin and Don Nelson. The yard on the play to the 39. It'll be second down and 9.
Two defensive ends coming in for Missouri probably means that they will change their style of defensive play to put a little more pressure on Beban by forcing it a little more quickly.
Busby to the near side. There's that defense poised. A little hitch by the UCLA forward wall. Don Nelson and Bill Powell, 63 and 69. The carry is to the 35, a gain of 4, so it'll be third down and 5. Next week on ABC's Wide World of Sports, you'll see great international figure skating, along with the All-Ireland Football Championships featuring Meath against Galway, beginning at 2:30 p.m., 1:30 Central Time. Wide World of Sports. Third and 5. Intended for Harold Busby, the sophomore. So it's a fourth down. Jim Whitaker covering on the play. There's Busby, number 84, running back to the huddle. Norman Dow is back in punt formation. He is a reserve quarterback. Roger Worley is deep. And right at the 6-yard line, Bud.
Beautiful execution of what we call the squib kick. You perhaps noticed that the kicker did not try to hit the ball hard. He bounced it down into the secondary, hoping that it would hit a Missouri man, and UCLA might recover a fumble, and if they did not, of course, they could down it at the 6, but there is going to be a penalty on the play.
Steve Durbin downed the ball. Let's see what the penalty will be. It is illegal procedure. So this play now will come from the 40-yard line. The down will remain the same. It'll be 4th and 10. And Roger Worley, sophomore from King City, Missouri, is in the deepest position. Norman Dow. There it is again. Worley at the 10-yard line. Worley has looked sensational today, Bud.
He certainly appears to be a great back with a great future.
Tom Ware made the stop as we have a timeout here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, California. The score is UCLA 17, Missouri 8. Now we return to our studios for this message.
See how Salem refreshes your taste. From the first puff to the last puff, refreshes your taste. Springtime soft and springtime fresh, that's the taste you get from Salem. Have a Salem, see how Salem refreshes your taste.
Salem Filter Cigarettes, America's largest selling menthol, because Salem refreshes your taste.
She is looking at the Coliseum football field, perhaps her favorite football player. We have approximately 6 minutes left in the ball game. Missouri with the ball, 1st and 10, From their own 24s, they trail 17-8. Gary Combrink, number 14, gets a good block by Thorpe. Sandy Green intercepts for UCLA, a pass intended for Earl Denny. 3 interceptions now by the UCLA secondary, and four by Missouri. Coming into the game, Missouri had picked off 6, UCLA 5.
The basis of good defense, of course, is speed in the defensive secondary, and by those interceptions that Chris mentioned, 4 by Missouri and 3 by UCLA, you can tell that both of these ball clubs have it.
And Beban has the ball now in his team. The slot back formation. McAteer in the slot, Busby the split end. Beban sweeping out to the 35 for a 3-yard gain.
Beautiful pattern of the Missouri defensive strategy. The end, turning the sweep in, and the pursuing linemen and linebackers meeting Beban almost on the line of scrimmage as he turned upfield.
Jim Whitaker of Kansas City, Missouri, made the stop. 2nd and 7 now. UCLA, 5 minutes remaining in the ball game. McAteer in the slot. Mel Farr getting near the 40 of UCLA. Carl Garber and Don Nelson in on the play. Bud?
With the clock showing just a little less than 4 minutes, this is a big down for Missouri. They must force UCLA into a punting situation by keeping them from making this first down, or the clock will defeat them.
Okay. To the far side, it's Busby. McAteer outside his own right end. The sweep again. Going for the big play was Gary Beban, and Roger Worley made a sure tackle on the play, along with Dan Chupin. And it's a 4th down coming up. Play stalled at the 39. 4th down and 3, Bud.
It was a fine defensive execution. I'm sure that Missouri felt that on the pressure down, the best ball carrier, Beban, would have the ball. They were closing on him. They did stop him for no gain and put UCLA in this kicking situation.
And on the huge clock here at the Los Angeles Coliseum, site of many outstanding sporting events over the years, we note we have 4 minutes and 5 seconds left in the ball game as we look at Roger Worley, number 23, who is awaiting the kick by Larry Cox. From our end zone camera, you see the most imposing entrance of the Coliseum, and the football field groomed to perfect condition for this game, the 3rd meeting, going back to the first meeting in 1937 of UCLA and Missouri. And don't forget, immediately following the conclusion of this game, you'll be seeing College Football Today. Jim McKay, along with Kyle Roach, will be bringing you scores of all the important games around the country. Jim and Kyle will also be keeping you up to date on conference standings and some of the outstanding individual performances in the nation. An outstanding performance should be coming your way next Saturday afternoon on television from Atlanta, Georgia, as Georgia Tech meets Tennessee in a classic battle. The ball at the 39 now, 4th down and 3. Larry Cox will do the punting with the wind to his back. Roger Worley is back deep. And it's blocked. And it's picked up. Russ Washington, number 89, the biggest man on the field. He blocked the kick, picked it up, and Missouri has 6.
If you were watching the Missouri linemen, you could see them gang in the middle. They blew 8 men between the tackles. One of them got home free, and believe me, that changes the game, Chris.
It certainly does, and time is ever so important now as we have a 17-14 ball game. Russ Washington, a junior from Kansas City, Missouri, 6'6", 280 pounds. Spotted in a hurry by our spotter, Bill Friel. And all the spectators got a good look at him because he is the biggest man on the field. So now let's see, with the score 17-14, there are some interchanging of players now. Here comes another, number 83, Judd. comes into the lineup for Missouri. Okay, Bud.
An unexpected break of that kind breaks down a little bit the normal pattern of substitution. Stop action on this play. You can see the kicker back. The pass was a little bit high, and Washington was blocked slightly, but the elbow did get in the path of the ball. He made a marvelous recovery here, and then look at the blocking that he picks up. The rest of the Missouri linemen who were rushing were able to escort him over the goal line for the touchdown.
Bud, he can pick him up and lay him down, too.
For a big man, he surely can.
So it's 17-14. You recall at halftime, UCLA led 3-0. 7 interceptions in the ball game. 4 by Missouri, 3 by UCLA. And the fans are getting a kick out of the man that may try a point-after touchdown kick, Billy Bates. He was loosening up his leg. Here he is now. 3 minutes, 55 seconds left in the ball game. Gary Combrink holding. The kick is up. A marker is down. A procedure penalty against Missouri. There you see the signal. Turning over those hands and arms.
When you're lined up to protect the kicker, it's very easy as the defensive men adjust their position to lean just a little bit. That time, one of the upbacks for Missouri did lean just before the ball was snapped.
All right, now at the line of scrimmage, back out at the 8-yard line, Billy Bates will kick this one. It'll come from the 15 at 10 on the goalpost at the end line. And this is for 1 point. It's good. So, looking at that clock, it is 17-15 here at the Los Angeles Coliseum. You know, next week, we'll be at Legion Field, Atlanta, Georgia, as the Rambling Wrecks from Georgia Tech tangle with the Volunteers of the University of Tennessee. Georgia Tech, led by quarterback Kim King. Their threat on the ground is Lenny Snow, an outstanding runner as a sophomore, and he can really go, Bud.
Tommy Dodd thinks that he's perhaps the best running back that he's coached at Georgia Tech, and he's had a lot of great ones.
And, of course, the Volunteers of Tennessee will employ the I formation and the passing, as well as the hard-driving running of quarterback Dewey Warren. Their quick, aggressive attack is further bolstered by the explosive running of fullback Dick Pickens. Tennessee, Georgia Tech next week.
They say about that Tennessee team, too, Chris, that they hit so hard that they all appear to have stingers all over them.
Yes. I rode down the elevator with Russ Washington, and I can attest for his size. He is enormous. Blocking the punt with his back, picking it up, and scooting into the end zone. He worked up a sweat on that run and that job. It's 17-15 here at the Los Angeles Coliseum with 3 minutes, 55 seconds left in the game. Missouri is bouncing back. Awaiting the kick of the Missouri Tigers, Mike Bergdahl, Tim McAteer, and Mel Farr.
You also are going to have all of the rest of the men on the UCLA team awaiting the kick, too, because of the possibility of that onside try, which was successful the last time for Missouri.
Right, Bud? There you see Billy Bates, number 46, who has had a busy afternoon. There's the onside try. And UCLA alertly comes up with the ball. It was Rick Purdy, sophomore from Los Angeles, and as a freshman was a quarterback on the UCLA freshman team. But when you got Beban, who's only a junior, you might as well find another position, which he did.
Also, on a play of that kind, it's good to have people that are used to handling the ball up there where the action is going to take place. Fine substituting by Tommy Prothro.
First and 10 from the 49. And that is Rick Purdy carrying the ball. Bud further backing up his ability to handle the ball, and good choice by the coach.
The inside portion of the Missouri defense has been double tough all afternoon.
The play is resumed. It'll be 2nd and 7. And when the
And when the game's over, she must have a date. 2nd and 7. That was Purdy again. Bounced off 69, Bill Powell.
We repeat that same pressure situation here that we had a moment ago with UCLA now. 3rd down, 5. Got to make it or they're going to have to kick.
3rd down and 4 for UCLA. They lead by only 2 points. With now 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, here is Gary Beban. Big play to Mel Farr. The play went Beban to Farr and stop-action videotape.
The last time that UCLA was in that situation, they ran the quarterback sweep with Beban. This time it looks like the sweep, but as you can see, Farr is down the field. Missouri halfback was up. Farr was open behind him. He turned on the speed and moved the ball to the 14-yard line. Fine call. Great strategy.
Roger Worley forced him out of bounds, so the play goes from the 45 to the 14. 1st down. Busby to the near side. Here's that sweep. A marker is down in the backfield area as John Douglas was in on the play. Let's see if we'll have an illegal use of hands call coming up. Two minutes and 25 seconds left in the game as UCLA leads Missouri by only 2 points. There's the signal, grasping of the wrist, illegal use of hands and arms, and it brings UCLA back to the 33-yard line, where it'll be a 1st down and 29. Busby to the far side. Cornell Champion in the slot. Mel Farr, look at that bounce. Roger Worley hit him first, and then Gary Grossnickel.
Before the game, Chris, we were talking about UCLA having the type of athlete that can convert a bad play into a good play, and this is one that exactly indicates how it happens.
Let's watch stop action, Bud, on that last play.
Farr is hit as well as a back can be hit behind the line of scrimmage. It's a little counter play, and as you can see, 2 Missouri men closing on him, but with great power in his legs, he breaks off the block. The 2 men missed the tackle, and of course he did take it almost to a 1st down.
And back live, it was Rick Purdy that carried on a 2nd and 10 play from the 14 of Missouri as Russ Washington, who scored the last Missouri touchdown, made the stop. He blocked a punt, picked it up, and ran about 17 yards on the play. So it's going to be a 3rd down. Later on ABC TV, Missouri will be meeting Nebraska in Lincoln. What a game that could be. Hope you'll join us then as Beban loses his footing at the 13. Jim Whitaker in the area for Missouri, along with Carl Garber. So now it's a 4th down. 1 minute remaining in the ball game. Less than a minute as the clock is running now. It's 17-15 UCLA, who led by 3-0 at halftime. They bounced right back, opened up the lead, but then Missouri came back. At one time, they led 17-0. Busby to the near side on a 4th down. Mel Farr. Touchdown, UCLA. UCLA 23, and let's look at it, stop action.
I'm sure that everyone felt that UCLA would kick a field goal. Instead, it's the trap play with the tailback cutting inside the tackle, Farr really turning on the speed and diving for that goal line.
That came with 37 seconds remaining in the ball game as Kurt Zimmerman now will try the point after. Through the upright. Great poise by the UCLA Bruins. Missouri pulled it close. They moved the
continues each week on ABC. The timeout and the score is UCLA 24, Missouri 15.
Watch this acid test dramatize how magnetic film in Prestone antifreeze gives extra protection against corrosion in your car's cooling system. We dip 1/2 of a metal strip in Prestone antifreeze, coating it with magnetic film. The other half in antifreeze with only regular inhibitors. We plunge both into the hot acid. Watch. Metal with ordinary antifreeze is destroyed in 6 seconds. But look at the metal protected by magnetic film. Get this extra protection with Prestone antifreeze coolant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ordinary batteries. Now, just one new Ever-Ready alkaline battery lasts up to 10 times longer than ordinary batteries. In hard use, in constant use, in continuous use. Yes, in heavy-duty use, Ever-Ready alkaline batteries last up to 10 times longer. That's power to spare. Products of Union Carbide.
With 37 seconds remaining in the ball game, UCLA has scored. Mel Farr going into the end zone. They lead 24-15, Bud.
The unexpected is the great weapon, and I'm sure that the entire Missouri defense and everyone in the stands felt that UCLA would go for the field goal, and they just weren't ready when Farr drove that ball off tackle.
Jim Sayre's kick now. As Ewing, one of the Missouri halfbacks, brings the ball, Michael Ewing comes out across the 35-yard line to the 37. The clock is stopped with about 25 seconds remaining. 24-15 is the score. Following our telecast from the Coliseum in Los Angeles, it'll be College Football Today, continuing with scores and highlights with Jim McKay and Kyle Rote. So be sure to stay tuned, and don't forget next week, Georgia Tech hosts Tennessee. You know, it may be getting pretty dark if you're watching this game in the East, but it's not too late to plan to see a college game tonight, no matter what time it is where you are. There are quite a few tonight, so go on out. Danny Sharp running the attack for Missouri. There you get a look at Gary Combrink, who has gone all the way and brought the Tigers back to within 2 of UCLA. Now he's getting a breather as we have 20 seconds remaining in the ball game. Gain was up to the 42, so it'll be second down and 5. You just joined us. UCLA led 3-0 at halftime. Late in the game, they led 17-0. Missouri came back. Now UCLA leads 24-15. The 4th interception by UCLA. Each team has come up with 4 interceptions. Don Manning, a junior from Culver City, California, nabbed that one.
The mark of a champion is the ability to come through when the pressure is on. Missouri put on a tremendous rally to score their 2 touchdowns, but when the chips were down, UCLA today at least, Chris, had what it took. They were able to drive a succeeding kickoff down the field for the put-away game-breaking touchdown.
And now the senior quarterback from Sunnyvale, California, Norman Dow, was in to direct the attack, but time has expired here at the Los Angeles Coliseum. And in a game that started off slowly on the scoreboard, but not in the manner of play, 3-0 at halftime, both teams getting on the scoreboard. UCLA with a total of 21 points in the second half, and Missouri a total of 15 points as Tommy Prothro shakes the hand of Dan Devine, 2 outstanding football coaches with a group of fine collegiate athletes representing 2 outstanding universities. Next week at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, it'll be Georgia Tech meeting Tennessee. Once again, the final score, UCLA 24, Missouri 15. We'd like to thank Coach Dan Devine, his staff, Bill Callahan, the Sports Information Director at the University of Missouri. Also, we'd like to express our appreciation to Coach Tommy Prothro, his staff, and Vic Kelly, Sports Information Director at UCLA, for all their cooperation. The executive producer of NCAA football is Brune Arledge. The Missouri-UCLA game is produced by Chuck Howard.
and directed by Andy Sedaris. Our associate directors were Louis Frederick and Larry Cam. Technical director, Tom Sumner. Next week, NCAA football will bring you the University of Tennessee versus Georgia Tech from Atlanta, Georgia, featuring the passing and running of Kim King and Lenny Snow against the Volunteers of Tennessee led by quarterback Dewey Warren and Richmond Flowers Jr. That's Tennessee meeting Georgia Tech live and in color next Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And remember, next week on ABC's Wide World of Sports, you'll see international figure skating from Berlin and the All-Ireland Football Championship from Dublin, Ireland, beginning at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now stay tuned for College Football Today for all the scores and highlights of today's college football games. This is Chris Schenkel, along with Bud Wilkinson, Bill Fleming, and our spotter Bill Creel, saying so long from the Los Angeles Coliseum. Air travel arrangements for NCAA football made through United Airlines, who also furnish promotional consideration. NCAA College Football, America's great traditional autumn spectacle, has been brought to you by Oldsmobile, in behalf of your nearest Oldsmobile dealer, whose rocket action cars are out front again in '67. By the people in your town who bottle Coca-Cola, Coke with the taste you never get tired of. Things go better with Coke. By Goodyear. This year, as in every year, for 51 consecutive years, more people ride on Goodyear tires than on any other kind. And by Sunoco. People in the know, people on the go are moving to Sunoco. When you stop at Sunoco, you go with confidence.
Roy Finn as guest stars on the FBI tomorrow night in color on ABC.